Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
And I am Tayo Salam. Many thanks for joining us again.
Okay.
All right, starting off the show with the ITCF World Championships going on in Houston, Texas. It's going to start today, and Team Nigeria is going to be in action. We're going to get to the likes of Olajide Omotayo, FEM Odong, as well as Arnold Quadri.
All right, so on the program, the UEFA Champions League is back. We'll be having a comprehensive preview of the games that will go down today, especially as Michael Carrick will take charge of Manchester United as the caretaker manager against Villarreal.
Point of correction, as a temporary interim manager. Let's put it that way.
So caretaker won't fly for you, Taya.
As a temporary caretaker manager, how about that? Also, on the program in the NBA, it's 13 straight wins for the Phoenix Suns in the National Basketball Association. Cecilia, the Suns are still very, very hot right now in the NBA. It's the longest winning streak for the 2021-2022 season. Think about wherever you are, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, and the others.
Others are trying to make sure that the Suns are going to run. We're looking at 20. If they can do 20, yes, that would be great.
Why not? With the way they're going, Cecilia,
yeah, just trying to dig deep every time to win. And of course, that's what we're starting off the show with this morning, starting with the NBA results that went down early hours today. And
Indeed.
Of course, our star match obviously is going to be,
we've got a couple of matches involving Nigerian players for obvious reasons. But before we get to those games, let's give you the other results of the matches that were played in the NBA. 10 matches in total, and we have all of the results for you, starting with the Cavs against the Brooklyn Nets. It ended 117 to 112 in favor of Brooklyn. Cecilia, Kevin Durant returned to the lineup to score 27 points. James Harden added 14 points and a season-high 14 assists in that victory. I know you still say James Harden needs to do a lot more.
A lot more, yeah.
It's gradually coming back on its way. LaMarcus Aldridge, what a game. 21 points off the bench.
Of 14 shooting.
Wow. That's incredible. That's one person that could be an X factor
for them this season.
For the Nets going into the postseason. They're going to need that kind of offensive firepower from the bench if they're to have any chance of winning the championship. Let's move on to the Wizards against the Charlotte Hornets. Fantastic victory for Charlotte, 109 to 103. Terry Rozier scoring a season-high 32 points. He also made a game-winning three-pointer with 12.9 seconds remaining in that victory. LaMelo Ball contributed 28 points to go along with 13 rebounds to help Charlotte win its last 6 of 7. The OKC Thunder unfortunately lost against the Atlanta Hawks, 101 to 113. Trae Young scoring 21. Of his 30 points in the second half to help ATL close out a perfect 5-game homestand in that victory. The Celtics and the Rockets, Cecilia, 15 straight losses now for the Rockets. It's just terrible season, heartbreaking to see what's going on.
I thought last season they were going to turn it around by this season, but it seems it's going to continue like that.
Not looking that way.
These guys aren't ready at all.
Too bad. We'll come to that game later on.
Yeah.
In the course of the program.
The Pacers and the Bulls.
Yeah, the Pacers and the Bulls ended 109 to 77. How are you the Bulls and you're getting crushed by the Pacers, Cecilia? Wow.
Okay. Now they entered it with the best record in the East, but then I don't know, the shooting was too ugly and it was too terrible that they had to suffer that home defeat against Indiana Pacers. And you're looking at it, I mean, the Bulls 12-6 this season made just 31 of 85 shots from the field, and that's 36.5%.
That's horrible. That's horrible. I'm not trying to look for excuses for them, but they were playing on the second night of a back-to-back, so perhaps they didn't really have a lot left in the gas at all. But then, talking about
and we have Suns also playing back-to-back.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe Suns are
extra
level.
Red hot Suns right now. For the Bulls, though. DeMar DeRozan scored 18 points. Zach LaVine scored 17 points. Those two guys came into the game as the 4th and 5th top scorers in the NBA. But look at the points they were able to deliver on the night, and you can see why they lost the game. They didn't get any help as well on offense from their teammates. Lonzo Ball, Cecilia, scored a grand total of 0 points. missed all 7 shots. Really, really bad game.
And he scored 30 points in the second quarter, but just 47 the other 3 combined.
Cecilia, let's just leave it as a bad game at the office for
the
Chicago Bulls. The Bucks were in action against the Orlando Magic, 123-92 in favor of Milwaukee. We'll come back to that game as well. And the Pelicans against the Timberwolves. It was Timberwolves winning 110-196, and the Suns, like we said, 115-111 over the San Antonio Spurs. They marked their 3rd longest winning streak in franchise history. The Grizzlies also got a win by 1 point against the Utah Jazz. And last but not least is the Philadelphia 76ers hanging on for 102-94 victory over the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, sticking without their key players, Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Seth Curry, all of them. DeAndre Foster is the one that had to lead them with 23.
Fantastic. And Tyrese Maxey as well, to shout out to that guy, taking full advantage of the opportunity to play without Ben Simmons. Let's take a look at our big game, our matchup of the round of games played in the NBA. The Celtics taking on the Rockets. Cecilia, like we said, the Rockets are 15 straight losses. Terrible season continues for them. But for the Celtics, though, they seem to have found their feet finally, and the winning games are quite convincingly as well, to 108-90 over the Rockets. Jason Tatum with 30 points. Jaylen Brown also returned from injury after missing 8 games. He came back with 19 points in that game.
23 minutes he was on court.
Yeah, that's all he needed to contribute to that victory. Dennis Schroeder, 18 points for Boston as well. Boston have won 3 games in a row and 8 of the past 11 games. All Orford, we cannot forget about the veteran, 11 points and 11 rebounds on the night. The coach, Ime Udoka, obviously very delighted with the performance of his team, especially Jason Tatum, who seems to be found his form finally, as well as the return of Jaylen Brown. Let's take a listen to Ime Udoka.
All right.
Ime Udoka delighted with yet another victory for the Boston Celtics, especially as well too with the return of Jaylen Brown and the performance of Jason Tatum. All right, one more post-game before we leave basketball. Quickly talk about the Bucks against the Orlando Magic. Fantastic victory for Milwaukee.
Obviously it was, and Jordan Nwora has been speaking about that victory. Let's listen to him. All right, Jordan Nwora, obviously delighted with that victory. He had 14 points in that game coming up the bench. All right, we're leaving basketball and we're going to be going to... Okay, before we leave basketball, we'll take a look at the top performers. Yes, it's going to forget that. Ja Morant, of course, for the Memphis. 32 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists on the night for his team. And moving on to Jason Tatum, ensuring that the Boston Celtics are having 3 in a row right now. 36-3 on the night for the Celtics.
And last but not least is
Trae Young. Yeah, for the Atlanta Hawks.
All right.
34-6.
Wherever you are.
Okay. Now, we're leaving it finally, right?
Yes.
We'll quickly go to London. I will be talking boxing right now. And, of course, you know what happened at the weekend where you have, well, do we say 2 Nigerians, really? Okay, not really 2 Nigerians, but then I have British and a Nigerian, one flying the British flag, another flying the Nigerian flag. They were in action. But the champ who emerged on the night is the person we'll be talking to today. He'll be joining us from London, talking about Richard Riakpori. I mean, he stormed past Olarenwaju Drew Dollar in that statement, a fight to set up that WBC cruiserweight title chance. So he's joining us from London this morning to talk more about the fight and the fact that he'll be having a shot in the WBC cruiserweight title bout. Good morning. It's good to have you join us, champ.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Now, I mean, you're unbeaten in 13 fights. And when that battle is going to happen, we're looking at the age difference, the fact that you have Olarenwaju, who is a veteran in the game. He's been there for a long time, 13 fights. I mean, the age difference and the experience he's got was all different. But this happens to be your best fight ever. Take us through it.
Yeah, so it was a very interesting fight. I have a lot of respect for Lanre because he's very experienced and a very dangerous fighter. He's won 36 of his fights and 33 of them by knockout. So I had to be on point. I had to be on my game. And we had a strategy to defeat Lanre, and it worked very well. And we had to kind of make sure our movement was on point. And we had a feeling we just needed to take this Lanre into the later rounds, and then we could try to force a knockout. which we did. And after the fight, I said thank you to him. I wanted to take him out to some of the Nigerian restaurants in London. There's some nice restaurants like Store and AO5, because it's business, even though we're trying to destroy each other in the ring. Outside the ring, it's all love and respect. I prostrate for him and after his fight and his coach to let him know that it's all love between us, and I understand my roots. We're all family.
Yeah, we're all family, and it's good to see our boxers are showing respect to each other after a bout. That's what the sport is all about. You've got a silver title now. That's the WBC Cruiserweight title. I know definitely that you want gold. And to get gold, you're going to have to get past Makabu, Ilunga, or perhaps Saul Canelo Alvarez. Tell us how excited you are for your future.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I knew that this fight is very important for me to win, because this is going to set up a huge 2022 for me. And there was so much on the line. I put a lot of pressure on myself, and we got the victory. But now we can look ahead and start to plan towards fighting either Canelo or Makabu. They're very, very good opponents. And now I need to even step my game up further. But I'm so confident in myself that I could do it. I haven't had a lot of experience in comparison to them, but I just believe, we're the new generation. We're coming up in the game, and, we have the warrior spirit. Originally, my family's from Delaware State, Warri, and, we don't play. We don't carry last, in Warri.
Wow.
We got that Robo fire. We're there, and we believe in ourselves. So we know that we're gonna come and do our thing when it's time.
So, Richard, I was just about to ask you where that warrior spirit is coming from. But you've given us the revelation. It's from Delta, Warri. Wow, that's quite a revelation on the show. Thank you for letting us know that. Also, as well, too, you have a very interesting story as well, too. Your background, growing up in South London on the street. You've been very vocal about how boxing has literally saved your life.
Yes, it's been a very tough journey. I was involved in the wrong crowd growing up, and I ended up being stabbed when I was like 15. My mum was out trading in Nigeria, in Lagos, and she got a call saying that it's like I'm nearly dead on the bed. I gave a lot of stress to my parents, and my way of giving back now is just by making them smile, making them proud any way I can. I decided to take up boxing because I love sports. I was very athletic from young. I loved football. Always wanted to play football, but I just found the love for boxing. And then after I started boxing, friends close to me, they said, Richard, you have to do something else. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. They told me to study. And I went to university. I studied. I graduated with a degree, a very strong degree in marketing, communications, and advertising. And after I graduated, I decided I want to pursue my dreams as a boxer. And that's when I went professional. And now we're still on the journey, on the road to becoming a world champion.
Interesting, still on that journey. I believe you have a lot. What's next for you after now? Yes, I know you're waiting for, how you can get, the gold as a title that I mentioned earlier, because currently, the cruiserweight a silver champion holder. But then the next one is obviously going to be a shot at that title. But before that, what are you planning? You were not fighting for like 2 years. You took time off. You came back in October. You had a fantastic fight. And of course, just on Saturday, you had another one.
So my plan is to be as active as possible, because I had such a long layoff due to injury and some business issues in boxing, which kind of held me back. I had to wait for my contract to run out. Now I'm back. All I want to do is stay as active as possible. So I have an opportunity to defend that WBC silver cruiserweight title, to remain active, so I can wait for the right opportunity. So when we find out exactly what's going on with Canelo and Makabu, that's when I could challenge I'll be next in line. So in the meantime, we're just going to stay active and get a few fights in before that. And we'll see how it goes. But my goals is to definitely challenge for that title next year. Whether it's mid or late, it doesn't matter. We'll just wait. We'll wait patiently if we have to. But we're going to get that title. No doubt.
Interesting. Richard, you sound very confident. I mean, I watched you just before the fight against Larry Drodola. You sounded very confident you were going to win the bout. You won it now. Now that you want to stay as active as possible before you get a shot at the title, it seems you're not worried that you might end up losing a couple of bouts in there that might scuttle your ambition.
Everything is a risk at the end of the day, but we stay positive. We keep a positive mindset towards our challenges. We understand every single boxing match is a risk. You know, we want to obviously wait, and we have aspirations of becoming world champion. But in reality, there's no security that we can make that happen. But the faith and the belief comes with the work that we put in. Indeed. Every single day in the gym, we're training. I'm going back to the gym today. Even though I just won the fight on Saturday, I'm not dwelling on the win on Saturday. Winning, that win was yesterday. To continue winning, we have to do the right things today. And we're back in the gym working on our next win. So, you know, we're thinking ahead, and we want to make sure that we perfect our craft to the best of our abilities. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes, but I have all the confidence in the world that things are going to work out. We're going to come through those fights, and then we're going to challenge.
So, Richard Riakpo, I want to thank you for joining us on Sports this morning. Really appreciate your time, and wish you all the best. You know, on this journey to becoming a world champion, joining the likes of Anthony Joshua, who is looking to retain his title hopefully very soon, as well as all the other Nigerians are doing well in combat sports. In the MMA, you have Israel Adesanya and Kamaru Usman and the other guys. So wish you all of the best. Hopefully, you can become a champion as soon as possible as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. I definitely want to come back home and bring the belts back. We should do something. Maybe I can come to the studio live.
Why not? We'll be ready to host you.
For that.
Just get that belt next year, definitely. Yeah. All right, cheers, sure. Richard. Catch you soon.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right, there you go. That's our WBC Silver Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Richard Riakpo. Now you know he's a Nigerian. You always wondered, that name sounds Delta-ish and Yoruba-ish and all of that. He is a Nigerian as well. So many Nigerians are doing amazing things in the world of boxing and combat sports in general. Anyways, we need to go on a break now, and we'll come back. It's going to be time to preview the UEFA Champions League. All eyes is going to be on Michael Carrick as it takes out Manchester United against Villarreal. Join us again. You're welcome back to Channel Sports this morning. Neobong Monday has now joined us. Together, we're going to be doing a preview of the UEFA Champions League. Good morning, Ini. Always great to have you on the show.
Good morning. Good to see Cecilia. Last time out, I was on the show virtually. Yeah. Cecilia was boiling. Yeah. I love it.
You love it.
I loved it.
You're not going to see the other side again.
She encapsulated the feeling of the typical Nigerian football fan.
That's what's
great. And it wasn't fun.
That's what
last week wasn't fun. Let's be honest. You know that.
You're a lot calmer now, though.
We're a lot calmer. We're a lot calmer. Maybe the story is coming out. Yeah. Maybe just it's giving us a little bit of hope that maybe.
We'll be better. We'll be better. So let's
because the last time we spoke to you,
to do that?
No, we're not going to do it. But I just want to remind you. The last time we spoke, you said you were going to tell us about this new direction that the Super Eagles have to take. I don't know if you have that all figured out now, or you want to keep it till later. Or is it a straightforward situation?
The only direction we need to take is that we need a fresh idea, someone at the helm of the affairs, someone different. Credit to Gennett Rowe. I've seen lots of people bashing the man, and I find that quite disrespectful because I think the manager's done really well. You know, he's taken us this far. He's given us a bit of stability, and that is a word that has been loosely thrown around all over the place. But it's the fact. He's given the Super Eagles a bit of stability. but we need to aspire to the next level.
Okay.
We need to push on to the next level, and unfortunately, he's not the man.
He's not the man.
All right.
We'll see whether, according to the NFF,
you've heard it.
He is the man. We'll
okay, now enough of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Wait for official statements coming from Nigeria Football Federation. Yes, a deadline was last night, right, to reach the ministry. We'll see what's going to happen in that stead. Okay. We'll leave in Super Eagles, and let's quickly touch down on what is going on in Houston. That's in the U.S., where the ITTF World Championships is taking place. Top stars, obviously, are all there, all the big stars across the world in table tennis. And, of course, in Africa, we're having 17 players coming out from Africa. And, of course, Aruna Quadri is leading that charge. So we're talking about the 2021 ITTF World Championships. I mean, starting today, the campaigns for the singles event starting today. And there you have just selected fixtures for you, Nigerian players that will be in action. Ty, you said, oh, no, right, because of Gustavo.
Not soon, boy, again. No, come on.
Yeah,
anyways, Omotayo Olajide has got his work cut out in that game. Gustavo is a very good player.
Yes.
Plays for Brazil, but you can tell from the name his origins. Anyways, there's also Bode Abiodun as well, too. He's going to be in action against Almiraj Anthony of India. I think he's got a good chance in that one. Off-Young Adam as well is going to be in action against Du Hu Hin of Hong Kong.
And, of course, Aruna Quadri is also going to be in action, but it's going to be drawn against the player that is ranked 152 in the world from Belarus, Alexandra Hanin, in the first round. So he got to the third round at the last time in 2019, where he lost to world #1 Fan Zhendong in Hungary. Then we'll be hoping that he will be able to break that jinx and get into maybe semi-finals. See that first.
Why not just take it one stage at a time?
Yeah, you can jump too. There's also Omar.
Why not?
It's also be in action.
Why not?
You just look at it and you know that sometimes these players can, get around. Well, let's see what's going to happen later today when all these guys will be in action. And after that, of course, tomorrow we'll be able to tell you the updates of what's going on and how many stars have been able to make it to the next round. Okay, we're leaving table tennis now.
Yes.
A word from you on this one?
Yeah, when it gets to the world stage like this, our players are always falling short, and you get really worried, and you really cannot blame them, because if things were done properly, if these players got the necessary support in terms of from home, you would think that they would probably have achieved more. If they had more exposure, if they had more support, if they're competing in meets all the time, if there was a bit of consistency with what they were doing, you would think that they would do more. They've given so much to the game in the country. Just sad that when you get to the world stage, it's a different level entirely. These are people who obviously exposed to more facilities, better facilities, better welfare packages. The support there, the system around there just supports them generally, and it helps them to do well. But when it comes to Nigeria, it's quite tough, because you're almost like you're on your own.
Okay. It's really unfair on a lot of Nigerian players, the level that they have to play against. So that's why whenever they do, get to the quarters.
Yes,
we tend to celebrate
them
because we know what they've had to overcome.
Because that stage is big. It's a huge stage. When you get to the world stage and you meet the best of the best, I mean, come on, I was watching the Olympics the other time. I was seeing our players being beaten left, right, and center. And you could see that. I mean, it's unfair to even be on the same table with
those people, because of the difference. The difference is so huge and so big. And that's why most federations have decided that organizing more championship is just the way to go for these athletes, not just here, and also making sure that they're able to compete in other championships across the world. Now, let's come home and talk about Lagos, what happened at the weekend. That's the Para Athletics Championship. The Southwest decided to organize competitions among all the states in the Southwest, and it was held in Lagos. And Lagos, of course, hosting it, the para athletes, they won 39 of the medals that were on ground. Ogun, of course, finished second in that one. They had so many events of that. They have the T12, the 100 meters, the T13, the shot put, and so many events for the para athletes. And of course, when you have competitions like this, I mean, these athletes obviously are always the better for it. Ondo, for instance, finished with 4 gold medals, no silver, and 3 bronze medals. Ekiti had 3 gold medals. And Lagos, of course, who won, had 9 gold medals, 15 silver, and 15 bronze medals. And most of the athletes have been talking about this championship and how this will definitely help them. Not just help them, but also if people can put more money in this one and allow them to compete in more tournaments, that will help them, you know, to really focus on the sport. First, let's listen to some of the athletes who took part in this championship.
This is so emphatic that the Lagos State hosts the first Southwest competition in history of Nigeria. Although we are starting training, so far that they have informed us that we are going to participate in the Southwest competition, we are starting training. Apart from this, we are preparing for National Sport Festival. So that is why we are preparing hard.
I've been competing since 2013, when we had one game year. That time, I just came in newly. I placed second. So, technical director then now picked interest in me that I can do it better. So I started training. So in 2014, I traveled to Dubai, representing Nigeria in 100 and 200 meters race, which has placed third then. 2014, again after that 100 meter in Dubai, 100 and 200 in Dubai, I represent a billet game. I did the billet game here, Lagos State billet game. I placed first 100, first 200. Then Abuja 2018, I placed first in 100 meter race for National Sport Festival 2018 in Abuja.
Just talking about all the things she has achieved so far, you know, as an athlete. I mean, this is something good, and these are the things some of us just want to embrace and see how more can be done for these athletes. Yeah,
but you always get the sense that with athletes, with sports, it's always about competitiveness, is sense of fitness, you know, and this can only happen if you're competing in tournaments regularly, consistently. If you're rusty, you can find yourself left behind because your competitors, the people who you're competing with, are, you know, miles ahead of you in terms of that competitive edge, that fitness levels. It's always important to be competing regularly, not just nationally, if you can internationally, which is where it takes us back to where there's a lack of support for our athletes to be able to engage themselves in this international meets. But it's great stuff, stuff, because you always want the athletes to be engaged, always doing something, because that's how you keep yourself going. That's how you keep yourself ready. Not when it's time for Olympics or Paralympics, we start running from pillar to post, trying to do stuff. It doesn't work like that. It's just like someone who you know, all through let's say semester in school, you're not reading your books. When it's time for exams, you know, you start to read your books. You're lying to yourself, and that's what we do. That fire brigade approach can never help. It can never help. That's why we go to tournaments and we expect these athletes to perform magic. Miracles. It's not magic. It can't happen, you know, but this is great. And, you know, so just keep them in shape. Fitness levels is very important.
It is important. All right, let's listen to the chairman of the Para Athletics Lagos State Association talking about this one.
Lagos State government is paying more attention on sport, and seeing this on the year, first of its kind, I think government is going to pay more attention on this, and all other states in Nigeria, we have to look at this as a very good example. My first trip to Delta State inspired me to organize this kind of event, whereby I saw a lot of the disability people doing the same thing that the able people are doing perfect and correctly. So I was very happy seeing them, and I saw it as a means of encouraging themselves to showcase their talent, to let them know that what disability people can do, what able people can do, and disability people can even do more better. So I have a passion for them, the way they are running, throwing the javelin, throwing the victors and everything. So it's very amazing.
I mean, the whole idea is, look, you know, when we started up the administration and the appointment came, we kept mentioning about inclusion of all sports. We've brought in the women. Now we have stepped up to make sure that the physically challenged have their own platforms, and this is just the first. But first, really, the person I must commend is the chairman for the para athletics for Lagos State. He's done a lot of heavy work to make sure that he galvanizes the Southwest, the states, and gives them competition, and that's what the result of what we are seeing today. We've heard this same mantra over the years: oh, the para people, the physical challenge people, always in us medals, but nobody does anything. Even to give them rewards, nobody really does anything after the initial, and they really have to fight for even the rewards they get. But this, I think, is a clear statement from Lagos State, showing that it's not only about getting rewards, it's about giving them regular competition so that they can improve and also even do better for Nigeria in the long run. Because you notice that even in the camps, it's the states that are able to generate the kind of athletes that are competitive, that actually get to represent the country eventually. Also, we are preparing, every year, the 3rd of December is the World Disability Day. We're already preparing right now for something special this year. And so initially we are hoping to do this after that, but if we do that, if we wait till later in December, people will not be ready to compete. So there's something still coming up next month, and by God's grace, Lagos will make sure that we are doing regular competitions for the physically challenged and we will improve them definitely.
Yeah, obviously it will improve these athletes when they have more competitions to take part in. Okay, we're leaving the para athletes now, right? I'm going straight to the UEFA Champions League. Yes, that's it. This weekend. I said this weekend. Today's Tuesday, yes. It's tonight. Tonight. Yep. Tonight, of course, Wednesday night. Let's start with the fixtures for today. And the big one, everyone obviously looking forward to, will be Chelsea and Juventus. But all eyes will be on Michael Carrick. He's going to take charge of Manchester United as a temporary interim manager.
Yeah, you got it right this time around.
Right? Okay, let's take a look at the fixtures okay, that's the pictures, from the first training session Michael Carrick had. Remember when Michael Carrick was playing, Ronaldo was at United, and it wasn't just like Michael Carrick was retiring. He was fully there with the Manchester United in the midfield. Now, his first training session, he's having Cristiano Ronaldo, having to coach him. I think that alone will just boost his CV, even if it's just for one game.
Yeah, I think the Man United situation is quite messy. I think it's from frying pan to fire. They've gone...
Wait. Solskjaer to Carrick is frying pan to fire.
So.
Wow.
I absolutely think so.
Okay,
because,
go on.
Carrick hasn't got any experience whatsoever at the helm of the affair of any football club. True. And then they've gone from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to Michael Carrick. Even though it's going to be for just a game or two, this is a very crucial game. Crucial. It's a crucial game because it's a game that United do not need to lose. Villarreal probably be at home. Clearly, they would fancy their chances playing at home, and United needs a point from that game because the Atalanta are also in the group. They go to Young Boys. If they get a win there, that puts them ahead of both of them if the game ends in a draw. So United need to win. Do I think he can motivate them? Do I think he can get them playing in a short space of time to get all 3 points? 4 hours. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. United have acted like a very small club, and this is something small clubs do. Tottenham fire Nuno Espirito Santo. A couple of days later, they got Conte. They got Conte. That's how big clubs behave. Because there's a plan. There's a direction. This is how we do things. Not United. United can't. Carrick, goodness gracious. I'm not being disrespectful to Carrick, but Carrick cannot be coaching Man United.
Before Sports got Conte, there was how old was that? 29?
No, Ryan Mason. No,
Ryan Mason, yeah.
No, that was when Mourinho was fired.
Mourinho was fired. Yeah, they didn't have plans because they didn't want to fire him at that time. Ryan Mason was in charge. Ryan Mason and Carrick. I think Carrick is even older. I mean, Carrick has more pedigree. I mean, Carrick also was under.
See that we're talking Manchester United here. Yeah. That's Tottenham.
So
Tottenham can afford to do
that. If he could do that,
Tottenham
then Carrick
can do it. Sunderland can do that. Newcastle can do that. Not Manchester United.
Because there are no plans to fire Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the first place.
It's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the fact that United had an opportunity to hire a Conte after the 5-0 defeat. Do you think someone like David Gill, who used to be Man United's chief executive, would have let a manager in the job, so a manager like Ole in the job, after United lost scandalously against Liverpool, and then you lose at home to Man City, 2-0,
as well.
Open opportunity to fire the manager and get a plan in, and let's say we've got to salvage the season. You know, so I think United have acted in a very arrogant way in the fact that they think, oh, we've got time. We can get any manager we want. You can't get any manager you want at this point. So I think it's a messy situation, like I said, and I hope they can get out of this trouble. But it looks like it's getting from bad to worse because where are you going to get a manager now? Mauricio Pochettino, we hear, is very interested in taking the job. He's going to leave PSG halfway in the season. I'm not quite sure about that. So where do they go from here?
Carrick might just get to the end of the season.
I agree with what you're saying, Ine, which is basically an indictment on the management of Manchester United. They've made some horrible calls in recent times, and you wonder, Ed Woodward and Joe Glazer, all of those guys in charge, what exactly are they up to? And it's a very, very strange situation for United, and that's why they're in the mess they're in. At the moment, Michael Carrick is the guy that's going to try and get United out of the current situation, at least for now. He's been speaking ahead of tonight's game against Villarreal. Carrick, that's the temporary interim manager of Manchester United, speaking ahead of today's game against Villarreal. It's a very crucial game, like Ine and everyone has said, and very interesting to see if Carrick does make any changes. I mean, it's barely 24 hours after the sacking of Ole, so I wonder how much of an impact he's expected to have in this kind of game. Anyways, one of the guys that a lot of United fans right now don't have a lot of time for is Harry Maguire, the captain of the team. Well, what do you make of his performances this season, and do you think he's been singled out for their poor run of form?
Not necessarily. To be fair to him, I saw him at the Euros, European Championships. I thought he was absolutely fantastic for England. I thought he played really, really well. He led that defense in such stupendous fashion. But coming back to United, he's been very poor. And I'm pulling no punch because I've seen Maguire, and I think he can be better. I think he sometimes gets lost in the fact that, he's a ball-playing defender and forgets to do the basics. And as a defender, when you're not doing the basics, we look at Van Dijk and we love him. We say Van Dijk is the best defender in the world. We call him Rolls Royce, he's everything. But everybody looks at Van Dijk and forgets that Van Dijk gets the basics right. When he needs to clear his lines, he clears his lines. When he needs to head it out, when he needs to put his foot through the ball, he does it. He just keeps it simple. He makes it he's very good on the eye, but he keeps it simple as well. He does his job. He provides leadership for the Liverpool backline. He makes sure that the other people are accountable for their actions. But when you look at Maguire, and every time I see him, he doesn't quite look sure of himself. He doesn't quite look like he knows what he wants to do. He gets his timing wrong, his positional sense gets it badly wrong. And then when you do that, and you have players around you, because for me, defending is about unit. It's not about individual. We can talk about how good a defender is, but if you're not defending as a unit, I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
100%.
And when you ask the captain, who is supposed to be the leader, you're making errors, you're making mistakes, and then I'm seeing you get a red card at Watford and the manager is giving you a pat on the back when he should be fining you 2 weeks' wages. Come on. Harry Maguire's got to look at himself and ask himself, have I done well for this club? Or is the extra pressure of having the captain's armband weighing in on his football? Because I feel he needs to concentrate on his game. Every time United have a bad game, I'm seeing Maguire come out and say, we need to come together. Sort out your game, man.
Yeah. Okay.
You're being poor as a person. Yeah. Sort out your game. Maybe if you sort out your game, maybe, just maybe, the team can improve, because they paid 80 million quid for him.
Yeah, 80 million quid.
So let's listen to the 80 million quid man, right? What he had to say after Ole exit. He believes that it's not just the manager, who did the whole thing wrong, but also all the players. All of them will have to share that responsibility that made Ole to leave Old Trafford. Okay, there's one smart discussion going on here that anytime Man City wants a player, United wants to go for it. Is United actually playing a catch-up to Man City? That's
Are you serious?
right?
Is that a question, really?
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Come on.
When I mean catch up, I mean, before the coming of Pep Guardiola, before the coming in of the big money, they were known as the noisy neighbors. I mean, not winning anything, they just come in here. But right now, United now happens to be the noisy neighbors. What,
there you go. Roles have been reversed.
It's looking like the blue side of Manchester. You like what's happening on the red side of Manchester, where the roles reversed, as you mentioned. But then United will not be the only ones in action tonight. If you can take a look at all the fixtures for tonight, you have Dynamo Kyiv and Bayern Munich in action. You also have Barcelona and Benfica, of course. We'll talk briefly about that key game. You have Villarreal and United and Young Boys and Atalanta. You have Group G, Lille and Salzburg, who happens to be topping the group. Sevilla at the bottom, no hope of qualifying. Wolfsburg is also there. The game between Chelsea and Juventus in Malmo and Zenit St. Petersburg. And Thomas Tuchel, I've been talking, ahead of that game tire, for Juventus, because Juventus right now are topping, and Chelsea, of course, these two teams will definitely qualify to the next round.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I don't see anything else happening. Quick one, Ini.
Yeah, Salzburg. I have my keen eye on Salzburg. I think it's done really, really well. I mean, Salzburg playing the Austrian league, and they're in a group with a Spanish team, a German team, and a French team, and they're top of the group. That is very interesting for me. They look really good. They've got a couple of Nigerian-born players, Carrick and Noah Kafo, who are doing really, really well for them. So I'm looking forward to that one. Of course, I'm looking forward to the Chelsea-Juventus game. Juventus, my word, what a contrast. In the Serie A, they're absolutely very poor, but in the Champions League, they're flying four games, four wins. And obviously, they qualify for the next stage, but Chelsea will be battling them out for who tops the group, because, of course, you get a favourable draw in the next round. So it will be an interesting fixture as well.
Indeed.
Okay,
right,
we'll quickly take a look at the papers right now. I'll start with Sporting Sun here. And Sporting Sun, Sporting Life, yes, I'm starting with Sporting Life here. Sporting Life have better headlines than Sporting Sun. Okay, Nations Cup, Osimhen could miss Turney. He has the swollen and couldn't see very well, and will undergo surgery in his next few days. While Atlanta is going to be today, for that surgery. Hopefully he gets well soon.
He's a top lad.
Yeah, he is.
He's a top lad. Because, sometimes when a player gets injured, you worry about, the medics will tell you, but mentally, if you're strong enough, sometimes you could come earlier than that. And I think he really is looking forward to that tournament. I fancy him recovering for that tournament.
The list is going to be out to be for a month. That's like 31 days, and the Nations Cup is in 48 days. January, right?
So the issue, I can see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, the short time,
maybe 10 days before the tournament. That's when he'll
obviously
be returning.
He's going to have to start getting back to match fitness and all of that, apart from recovering from the injury itself. But the issue now is the nature of the injury. This is the kind of injuries where boxers get. This is the kind of injuries boxers suffer. Cheekbone, eye sockets and stuff like that. So for a football player, I would just wonder how he's going to cope with all of that. But we're wishing him a speedy recovery. Hopefully he can return to full fitness before the AFCON. Perhaps also spare Nigeria's chances.
And of course, there's also another one. Eagles won NFF not to sack Raw. And another one you have ahead of the Nations Cup. The sports minister optimistic for Eagles, craves for more local content for Nigerian football. Yes, the Nations Cup trophy was in Lagos yesterday. Maybe that's when he gave this charge, or just alluding to.
So when the Honourable Minister talks about local content, I'm trying to understand what exactly is he talking about, because in my head I'm thinking he's talking about home-based players in the national team. in a league that has not even started.
We'll read our story
local content for Nigerian football. It could be coach, it could be players, it could be anything. So just local content. It could be more money.
We'll check out our story afterwards. Complete Sports is also here. PSG considers Zidane as Pochettino replacement. Napoli is meant to undergo surgery today. Union Berlin wants Awoni included in Eagles' AFCON squad. You've got a club campaigning for their top scorer to be playing for the national team.
Of course, come on. It's a thing of pride. Yeah. It's a thing of pride that you have your it's not just the national team, the national team of Nigeria. There's a lot of prestige playing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You know, you get a lot of respect for playing for Nigeria. Nigeria is a big football nation, and you know, it's a thing of pride, even though it will come at their detriment in terms of not, you know, missing him for a month, you know, but it's a thing of joy.
Okay. Awesome. My point is, he shouldn't even get to this at all. Taiwo, based on his form, should be a regular for the Super Eagles. That's what I'm saying. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, mate.
Thank you all for watching as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Tayo Salam.
I'm Cecilia Mogbe. See you tomorrow.